Okay, and finally we can take this, what we've been calling a horizontal bow motion, because it's making little strokes on the string. It's like a collé. Horizontal bow finger motion into some string crossings. So once you just have the general idea of let's get the bow fingers moving, and particularly we were talking about this frog area, helping to make that frog bow change nice and smooth, then we want to take that into some string crossings. So we could start off with the bow between, let's see, the D and the A strings. I'm just going to find that upper arm level that's sort of midway so I can be on both strings. And then my fingers are just kind of neutral right now, but can I straighten them out a little bit to get to just the A string? And can I curl them up a little bit to get to the D string? So now this is more the motion where it's the up and down vertical motion. So it's not so much the horizontal motion because you're not hearing that I'm making a stroke or anything. I'm just tipping over. So straightening to go to a higher string, curling to go to a lower string. So you could work that first, and once you have that feeling, we will take it into a bow stroke, but now we will have a little bit of that horizontal motion and the vertical motion. So I'm going to start on the D string and I'm going to do a down bow. So my fingers are curled the most because we're always going to be, if I came into that stroke from an up bow, I'm always going to be the most curled at the end of an up bow and starting a down bow. So I'm starting here as a curled down bow, and I'm going to straighten out. And then I'm going to do a little bit of that vertical motion to get to the A string. And it's okay if my arm also wants to come with me, but this is just kind of helping us get down there in a softer way than a clunk. So I'm going to do that. So it's going to be, let's just work on that. It's going to be fingers out and down. And then you can finish the up bow curling them. And then at the end of the up bow, they're going to go, so from straight to curled, and then they're going to go up. And then I'm back on the D string. So I would do, maybe just one side of the stroke and then the other side of the stroke. So the down, out, and down, and then in and up. Out and down, in and up. Still happening. But again, it's just the time that it takes between all of those moves gets a little shorter when it's the shorter bow strokes. Okay, let's do the opposite of that. So if I were to do an up bow on the D now, so my fingers are long because it's like I've just come to the end of a down bow, and that's when the fingers are longest. So as I do this up bow now, the fingers are going to curl in. So in, and then can the fingers go down? So it's like I'm taking the tip of the bow up, and I'm tipping down into the A string. Down into the A string. So we're going to go fingers out, and then they're going to curl in and down. And then I can go into my down bow. And here they're going to curl up, and then they can get me, might have to do a little bit of the arm, but they can get me back over to the D string. So out and up, in and down. And I now have the opposite circle. You see it a lot. If I'm going faster, if I go slower, we still see it though. It's still part of the move. Bow changes, and we don't have all of that clunky stuff. But we don't want just the fingers doing it And just like in the back and the fourth bow strokes, you know, we're going to be powering some of that motion for string crossings either in the upper arm or in the forearm or even in the wrist, depending on how fast the strokes are going to go. But just if the fingers are really tight and stiff and the bow hold never changes, it's just always either really straight or it's really curved. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's not quite going to help us get those smooth, you know, beautiful tones that we want. So we really have to mobilize. And then once we get into the flow of it, this can become a little bit more passive. So it's still happening. It's like I don't feel like I'm forcing it to happen. But I think when it's just not happening at all, it's good to make it really active so we know something's changing, and then we get the strength for it, and then we start to be able to just, oh, do I really need to focus on that much? Do I need to be that active with it? Probably not, because the body has, you know, rose to the occasion. Basically, the pinky especially has risen to the occasion. All right, so that is finger mobilization. Enjoy.